It's your dude. This is James coming back with another episode of Dude Knits. It is Sunday, September. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. 26th, I think. Probably should have looked up the date. Coming back to you from Green Bay, Wisconsin, where the weather has been amazing. My favorite weather is when it hits about mid 60s, where you can wear like a sweater with some shorts and it still be okay. And it's also great knitting weather because it's starting to get just a little bit colder. So I've been pulling out my fall knits, which I'm super excited about, pulling out the old hats and scarves, and I can wear them not only on my way into work when it's cold in the morning, but if it's just a little chilly, I can wear them on the way out, which I get super excited about. So I'm glad you all came back. For all my new viewers, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the chance on this small, informal fiber podcast that I like to do. I appreciate that. For all my returning folks, thanks for coming back. Thanks for joining me through the journey that is learning video editing. Definitely still improving my skills. I'm feeling a lot better. My last episode, I was really excited because I felt like I got a better handle on how to add in pictures or add in the little infographics throughout the podcast. And then I uploaded it and I was very excited. And then I noticed I didn't change the title screen. So it's a journey. We learn as we go. I'm very excited to see where this takes me. And I'm excited you're all here to join me. So thank you for coming back to episode 5. I can't believe we made it to episode 5 already. Feels too soon to be doing all that. So today I don't have a ton of new things to show you. There's some older things that I wanted to highlight. I've been spending a lot of time working on my projects, and work has been a lot. It's been a lot. So this episode is going to be full of ups and downs, and we're going to take a whole railroad coaster through the whole thing. And so there's been some amazing things and some stressful things, but through it all, my love of knitting and the community and all of that has been there to kind of see me through. And so very excited for those things to come. So let's kick it off with what am I wearing? And so since it is getting a little cooler, this is a cardigan. My first cardigan that I've ever actually made. I don't have the buttons sewn on yet. And the reason for that is, y'all, so I was blocking this cardigan, and for those of you that might be new, or maybe my lovely family and friends that are watching this that don't know as much about the fiber community, blocking is when you take a finished object and you soak it in some water, or you can steam block it or lightly mist it. There's a couple different ways to do it to kind of clean up your project, give it more of a professional look. I always like the thought of cleaning off, your finger oils from basically you touch your entire object as you're making it, and it sometimes loosens up stitches or just makes them look more uniform. Might give you some, depending on the fiber you're using, it might give you some more space in the object. And so I've mostly done my blocking with shawls to open up lace patterns, or to just, like I said, give it more. I like to measure the before and after because I think that's fun. And so you'll get a lot more inches out of your project that way. So mostly shawls. I don't typically do hats. I don't typically do my socks that I knit, or washcloths or things like that. I don't block those. But for garments and for shawls, I want to block them. And so I made a mistake and I didn't really think about it. I was so excited to get this done and to get it on the blocking mats. And I was rushing, I think, either to go to bed or to go up for work the next day. And I blocked it just like I would block a shawl. Now, the problem with that is most of my shawls have either been triangles or crescent shapes. And so you block it all out in the form of like a crescent. Well, when you have something like a cardigan, if you do that same thing, you're going to have the sides of this cardigan turn into giant wings. I could just fly away on this thing. And so my original intention was to make a cardigan and bring it into work. And my work's colors are typically like a deep green with maybe some white accents or some red accents. It's not an official school color, but and so when I was looking at this yarn online, I thought it would be gray with some highlights of green. And I don't know if you can see this. It's kind of showing up true to color. These are neon yellow. These are not green. I thought they might be a little bit green. They're not. And so since I blocked it kind of the wrong way, I don't mind wearing it around my apartment, on the chilly mornings when I like to leave my balcony door open. I pointed like it was open. It's not open right now because you can hear the traffic or there's kids playing outside, and I just worry about the audio. It's bad enough that I have Artemis, who is right over there, running around playing with a bunch of different things. And so this is the cardigan I'm wearing, and it's finally getting cold enough that I can wear it just around the apartment in the morning. It's nice and cozy. It is made from, I'm going to mispronounce this and I apologize, Shemire original yarn, Lova, and I think the colorway is 2973. And so it's 67% polyacrylic, 30% wool, and 3% polyamide. So that's going to show up backwards. I apologize. I don't know how to flip it. Maybe I'll learn, or maybe you could grab a mirror. Is that terrible to say? I'm just being honest. I don't know. I will figure this all out. But I ordered this from a site called Little Knits. If you haven't checked that out and you're looking for a more frugal site, they often will have deals on high-end yarn that's maybe discontinued, or they got a bulk order somewhere or something like that. And you can save quite a bit of your pennies on some of those things. And so this is what I got. And I had like a whole case of these, because these are only 50 grams, I think. They're 50 gram balls. And this is a size 6 or a size 5. I think they're a size 5. Nope, 6. Super bulky. So it's big. And I wanted that. I got that on purpose so that the cardigan would go fast. I find the first time I'm making something, I love the look of fingering weight yarn. I love using that, but it takes forever to get through a project. And if I'm doing it the first time, I need some of that drive of having it done to keep me going. So I apologize if I didn't say what this was. I have the pattern out in front of me. It is a paid-for pattern. It's the Mountains and Stone Cardigan by Lovely by Lee. And so I love this cardigan, and the instructions are incredibly well written. It's very size inclusive. It goes from extra small up to 6XL. And so very nice. I would recommend using a different type of yarn. I don't think this is maybe the best pairing for this project. And the sizing didn't quite work out how I wanted it to. But the instructions are so inclusive. You could remake this thing like, I think 10 different ways with the different cuff instructions, the different hemline here. There's pockets you can add in. I don't remember the name of this part of the cardigan. You can do it a bunch of different ways. You can have it fold over. I didn't do the fold over one. You can do it a bunch of different ways. And so it's a really nicely written pattern. And I can highly recommend it. I enjoyed doing it. So that's the first thing. And then I had a bunch of leftover because I didn't put in pockets. I don't know if I'm going to put in pockets. I'll definitely do the buttons just so I can wear it around my own apartment. But I had a bunch of leftovers, so I started doing some different things. I made a hat. It's just basically a modified Ross hat, but I didn't follow his instructions completely. Once you make several hats, you can kind of make your own, but I wanted it to follow the same ribbing design that's here and kind of is in the cuffs. And so it's just a little hat. I don't know why I thought I should completely match, because I'm also making mittens. Although I made the hat while it was still being blocked, and I started the first mitten, and then I took it off for blocking mats, and that dove the motivation down. I probably will still finish them because I do like the yarn itself. There's nothing wrong with the yarn. this is too much all in one. And so I do like the pattern. I enjoy the yarn. I don't know if I'd pair them together again, but that's what I'm wearing. And it is nice and very warm. I thought I did my arms too small at first, but actually I kind of like how this looks. Is that weird? I like it kind of tight on my arms. I think it needs more body, but I like the way my arms look kind of like this. I don't know if that's weird, but I'm going to continue doing it because it's my podcast. I don't know. So that is something that I have done. I have one more FO to show you today, and then I have several acquisitions, a lot of yarn community stuff that I'm excited to share and thank so many amazing people. One of the things that I'm going to be talking about is the Stephen West MCAL that's coming up, which got me thinking of my first MCAL that I've ever participated in. And for those of you that might be a little bit newer, MCAL stands for Mystery Knit Along. And so you typically will purchase a pattern from a designer or a yarn store that's collaborating or something, and you don't know exactly what it's going to be. That's the fun mystery part of it. So I would say mystery knit alongs are not for people that need to know exactly what it's going to look like at the end, because that's a foundational part of the mystery. So you purchase the pattern, and usually you'll get the info instructions first, where they'll tell you how much yarn you need. If there's different colored things, they might give you a little hint. Like, I've only done shawl mystery knit along so far, but that's changing. But you knew you were going to make a shawl, and that's it. They don't tell you if it's going to be triangle, if it's going to be crescent, if it's going to be an irregularly shaped shawl. They don't really tell you anything. Sometimes they'll give you hints like, oh, this is going to have brioche in it. It's not going to have brioche. Maybe they won't tell you that. Because I think Stephen, in his mystery knit along, kind of hinted that he's not going to tell you if there is or not. The first mystery knit along, though, that I did was called My Sister's Favorite Things. I'm just taking a look at my notes. By Cozy Up Knits, who are one of the first knitting podcasts I ever watched. They're amazing. They're four sisters from Grand Prairie, Alberta, Canada. And so they do theirs when the new year starts, so January 1st. And so that was my first. This current year is my first mystery knit along. And so it was an amazing shawl, and it was one of the first mystery knit alongs I've ever done. And so here it is. So many cool techniques that I learned with this. This section right here, Dawn, I'm looking at you if you're ever watching this. These are the Estonian button stitches, which I love how they look in that pattern. And then I'm going to try to get a close up so you can see. And a lot of people will do these instead of doing bobbles, because it's a little bit easier to do. And so that's the pattern there. And it's got kind of this feather and fan stitch section here. Ooh. And so it's a fairly big shawl with a little bit of a picot. Maybe that's not a picot edging. Not quite sure. But I love the design. I don't know if I'd pick these colors again. I would probably pick maybe 2 single colors so you could have more of the contrast. But it's a pretty decently sized shawl, and I love it. I love everything about it. It's amazing. Actually, the colored section is Patton's Croy. It's one of their sock yarns, which I would not pick again. And the gray is 100% superwash wool that I can't remember where I got it from. But it is a very fun mystery knit along. And so since they're 4 sisters, it was called My Sister's Favorite Things, because each week they would come out with a new clue so you could add to the shawl, and they would highlight a different sister. And so they would include some of their favorite knitting techniques that week, and then also just some of their favorite things. Like one was their favorite coffee drink. Another one was maybe, I think one of the sisters really liked to do steak or chicken wings or something like that. So they included their recipe in with that, which was just really fun. And it was fun to feel part of a community and try and keep up each week, so you're ready for the next week. And it was a lot of fun. And so this is one of the first shawls I've ever done. It's the very first mystery knit along. And I'm going to be doing more. I'm excited. I'm doing the Stephen West mystery knit along. And so I had gone to our local yarn shop, my local yarn shop in Green Bay, Wisconsin, called Silver Thimble. Um, it's like a half quilting shop and a half knitting yarn store. And I go in and I'm talking to Nan, who's the owner, and I bring in some skeins of yarn. So I bring in these 3 skeins of yarn. You see the colors. The first one is Siren and it's colorway Dolman, which is a deluxe tweed sock base. The second one is Ex Liberis, called Starkfield, and it's another fingering base. I love that color. This has silk in it, 30% silk, 60% superwash merino. And the last one is a Heritage Wave sock base as well. Oh, I'm getting a call. Let me decline that. I apologize if you could hear that ringing. I hope it didn't ring for me, but I hope it didn't ring for you. So I had these in my stash, these 3 colors. And you need 5 colors for the mystery knit along. And so I went in with the intention of finding something that would go with these 3. And so I walk in, I'm talking to Nan, and as soon as I start talking to Nan, Nan says, "Oh my gosh, you're going to have to talk to Dawn, because Dawn loves Stephen West, and she loved everything." And so she calls over to Dawn, who's, I think, teaching a class at that point, because I had just randomly come in, I think, on a Saturday. And Dawn comes over and says, "Stephen West?" And so she's like, "What are you looking at?" And so I showed her my 3 colors, and Dawn was amazing. And to really match this color, she picked these 2, which are both by the Seven Sisters Arts. They are amazing colors. They're 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And so look at that. Just look at those colors. Are they not beautiful? She has such a good color sense. And so I had not met Dawn up until this point. I never had known her, and she helped me pick out these colors. And so originally I was going to have this. Oh my gosh, I can't even. This is why I need an extra pair of hands. I was originally going to have this as my shawls. This was going to be my kit that I was going to use. And then I get to talking to Dawn, who is amazing, and she is so much fun and frivolous and all that good stuff. And so Nan says to me, "Do you know Dawn actually has a podcast? And it's called the Frivolous and the Frugal podcast." I apologize. I've been watching them. I'm on like episode 20 because I started from their very beginning, and I'm watching all the way up because I love them. Miss Dawn and Miss Penny are amazing, and I love their podcast. And I just lost the name of it there for a second. And so Dawn, says, "Oh yeah, I would absolutely love for you to watch. Here's our card." She gives me her card, lets me know that they do these Zoom knit nights, all those great things. And I had just randomly met her at the local yarn store. And so I started watching the podcast, and it's really fun to know somebody that's in your local geographic community. Because she was at the same local yarn store I was in person. And then I start watching her podcast. And one of the things that I've kind of been missing out, I first started knitting in, I think it was November of 2019. And so we're talking just a couple short months before the pandemic started. And I learned how to do it on YouTube, and I was watching YouTube tutorials. And it's not the same as being in person with other people, or, like I've said in previous episodes, talking to other people that are just as passionate as you are. And so the Zoom knit night sounded really fun to me because they'd be an opportunity for me to talk to other people and maybe get some of that community that I was kind of just missing out a little bit on. And so I did go to, I think 2 weeks now, 2 weeks of the Zoom knit nights, which are so much fun. All the ladies that I've met on there have been wonderful, different companies, different other podcasters, just other people that you can tell are just as passionate about the fiber arts community and the new things that are coming out and the patterns. And even if we're all not knitting the same things, it's been so fun to get to know people from all across the world, really. And I I just can't thank everybody enough for including me and making me feel welcome. People don't have to do that. They're all wonderful. Dawn shared my podcast, and a lot of folks came over from that. And it means a lot, because I do this just for fun. I do this because it's something I'm passionate about, and I like talking about it. And it meant the world to me. And so I've been really, really enjoying those Zoom knit nights and just talking to other people. Um, and so one of the last ones we did, people were bringing out their different yarns, and they were saying, well, I was thinking this but this. And so I had ordered, before I had gone to the local yarn shop, I had ordered some more Cascade Yarns Heritage, and it came in these two colors. So we got a nice bright yellow, and this is more of a like baby blue, maybe a sky light blue. And online it had looked a little deeper and darker, which I'm not unhappy about the yarn itself. It's great. I'll definitely use it for something, maybe make socks out of it. But I was talking to all the ladies, and I think I've redone what my Stephen West is going to be. So we're going to keep these three, because I just love the grays, and the contrast is going to be wonderful. Keep these three, and then we're going to add these two. What do you all think about that? And the green isn't really showing up. It's more of an olive green with some tweed flecks in it. So you have a green and a yellow, and come on, we're in Green Bay, Wisconsin, Packer colors. Is that not going to make a great shawl? It's going to be beautiful. Oh, there we go. Oh, you got to turn it the right way. It's going to be great, and I'm so excited. I thought I was excited before, but I'm really excited now. I can't wait till the Mystery Knit Along starts. I'm very excited. But also, I just want to give a huge shout out to Dawn, to everybody that I've met at the Zoom Knit Nights. Y'all are wonderful, amazing human beings, and I'm so thankful that I've gotten to meet you all. And I've started to go to some of the Knit in Public events that are held at Silver Thimble. And Dawn was so nice. She gave me some of this, I think it's wool wash, because she was talking to me about how it's sometimes hard to find the wool wash that has the lanolin in it. And so she's like, we got these samples. This is Eucalyptus grapefruit colorway, or grapefruit scent. And I like grapefruits. So it is, and again, it's going to be backwards, but I recommend you use a mirror. See it somehow that way. But I'm so excited. It's going to be great to use this. And then she also gave me this cute little thing, a little progress keeper, which this is one of my whips. I'm working on the dragon scale mitts. But look at that little progress keeper, the Frivolous and the Frugal. Block my face so you can't see it. Ooh. This is more difficult than it looks, folks. Actually, it looks pretty difficult, so focus. You can do it. Or maybe you can't do it. Okay, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work. My hands are shaking. I don't know. But yeah, it was so nice. She didn't have to do any of that. They don't have to be as welcoming as they all are. And I'm so thankful to have everybody in my life and to share my love of knitting and the community. Because this week has been busy and I needed it. These last couple weeks have been. And so it's amazing. I love it. I'm so thankful. Yeah, so let's move on to whips. I do have a couple whips on the needles. And so, like I said, this is the Dragon Scale mitts. They're on my straight needles, which I don't use a lot of those anymore. But it'll be probably one of my last pairs of Dragon Scale mitts for a while, because, woo, I've made a lot of them. I think this is pair number 5 or 6. But they're the Dragon Scale mitts by Erin Kate Archer. And again, you'll see my editing skills, maybe down along the bottom here. Yeah, they're fairly easy pattern to knit. If you have any ideas you're looking for maybe holiday or gift knitting, these would be a good thing, because you could whip them out pretty fast. And they're fingerless gloves, which a lot of people like. So that is in the works. This is in my bearded pearl bag. Still working on my baby booties. I'm almost done. I could probably start the toe on this one. These are what I knit during lunch at work. I just take them up with me to the cafeteria. I got this yarn at Silver Thimble. And the pattern came with the yarn, so can't go wrong. It's Dream Baby Toddler Socks. So my sister is pregnant, so these will be for my future niece or nephew. I'm very excited. Can't wait for that. And so they're a little bit slower. I could probably just do them in a weekend if I wanted, but it's nice to have something small that you can take with you to work, to knit during lunch. A lot of my other projects are getting fairly large, and so one of those fairly large projects, which boy oh boy, I hope this is off the needles soon, because I'm worried it won't be done by the time the mystery knit along goes. But I'm working on the Opus shawl by Maxim Sear. And so I am not going to show the picture of the pattern again because I've shown it before and y'all can go and look it up. But I am making some decent project. We're halfway with my 10th repeat and I need 12 repeats and then almost a full 13th. But you don't finish the 13th because you do the bind off. And it is a paid for pattern, so I'm not going to go into the specifics or anything. But this is the Opus shawl, y'all. We are making some progress. We're getting there. So I have two complete repeats to do. I'm halfway through this orange at the top. You can see, yeah, I love it. It's going to stretch out very nicely. I'm pretty aggressively block it, I think, because my floats are a little tight on the back, and so I want to block that out as much as possible. I do have a progress keeper. I can't remember where I bought this, so I apologize. But it is a little Ministry of Magic progress keeper for all those Harry Potter fans out there. This is going to be wonderful and warm and all of the things. This is mosaic knitting, which is the first time I've done that. And it's very much the fall colorways with the gray, brown, orange, and little pops of green in there. And so this is my Opus shawl by Maxim Sear. So that is in the works, and where most of my knitting energy has gone. We're at almost the longest repeats now. I'm hoping to finish the 10th repeat today, and then I have a couple half days from work coming up. And so I'm hoping to maybe finish the 11th repeat. And so, yeah, the mystery knit along for Stephen West starts October 8th. So we're down to less than 2 weeks for me to finish this. Which, if I don't get it completely done, it's okay. I don't need to put all that pressure on myself. But I would like to have most of the repeats done and maybe just be working on the bind off. Because I think the first week of Stephen West, I've heard from all the wonderful people at Frivolous and Frugal's Open Knitting, and another one that I've gone to as well, that usually the first week you'll get done ahead of time, and so then I can maybe finish. So if I overlapped like that, I think it would be great to do it that way. But I also want to free up my Chagu needles because I want to probably do Stephen West on those. So I'm going to try my best to just get that done. And so the other thing that's occupying most of my time, and this is just ridiculous, I have to be honest, is my blanket, which I've shown and a lot of people said they like to see, so I thought I'd show it again. I've officially made it past halfway. I'm no longer calling this my baby blanket because it's not a baby blanket gift. It's just a full-size blanket. And I have another blanket behind me on the couch right here that I've crocheted together, so we'll show that another time. But officially made it halfway, started the green, so I have to finish this green repeat. I've started it, and then I have one more, and then I'll be done. So I have 7-ish more rows to go. And so this is the blanket. Let me back up as far as I can. Doesn't all fit on frame. So yep, it is the Ripple Stitch blanket, and I got the idea from TL Yarn Crafts, and I love it. It's wonderful, especially as the weather's the weather's getting colder, I just literally use it as a blanket as I'm crocheting it. And I am crocheting it. Um, the problem is, and this is me just being completely ridiculous, I really like this. Like, you don't understand. I really like this blanket, and I was cuddling up with it. And don't get me wrong, I like this one a lot. I do. But this is a totally different stitch. And it feels different. And I love cuddling up with it. And the problem with that is this is a gift. And with a gift, you give those away. So it was ridiculous. So this is for my future niece or nephew. And I was getting jealous of an unborn baby. I said it, and I meant it. I was getting jealous of an unborn baby. And so I was like, you cannot keep this. This is not yours. This is a gift. Can you imagine trying to tell? It wouldn't work with my sister. If I try to tell her, oh, just kidding, that blanket that I was working on because I posted it on Instagram and sent you so many Snapchats. What do you say? Oh, it burned. There was a fire. No, I can't make up an excuse like that, although I've totally thought about it. I cannot. But what I can do is I can start to make another one. So I'm making a scrappy version of that same blanket. And so it's not nearly as warm in the morning because I just started it. But this is my first scrappy project really that I've ever done. And so just a whole bunch of different types of yarn, just going through and starting my own blanket, my own version of this. And so I was digging through and I dug up all my scraps, and I have some to start with. And so I don't think I actually have that many to keep going though, because I'm using worsted weight and I don't have as many scraps. I've only been knitting for less than 2 years. So, but I do have a bunch of just acrylic yarn. I'm probably just going to start pulling into it and making it look scrappy, even though it's not truly, because I don't want to wait for true scraps, because then I'd have to wait for the blanket to be done, and that's not what I'm about. So we'll figure it out, but I was jealous, and so I started my own. That's where that is. I have not started a Musselburgh hat, which I really want to, by Yolanda Satiq. I have to stop myself most days from just starting it, especially because there's several people doing knit-alongs. We Share Needles. That podcast is doing us to Show Us Your Muscles for the Musselburgh hat. I was talking to Dawn about it because she had knit one in the shop, and trying to convince her to do a Musselburgh class because I would totally sign up for that. It would be so much fun to knit that. And I've tried to make it a couple times, and I've ended up ripping it out, and I've used worsted weight because you're supposed to be able to use almost any weight of yarn to make that, and you just follow the pattern. It kind of teaches you how to check your gauge as you're going, which is perfect if you hate doing gauge swatches. But somehow I always screw up, and I've ripped it out 3 times, and then I was like, I can't start again. I needed to just take a break. I'll come back to it. And so maybe I'll try a different weight of yarn, do a fingering weight instead of a worsted weight. So some other things, I do have some acquisitions and some future projects. So I was at Silver Thimble quite a lot, and so I got some Encore yarn. I don't know where my other skein is. So I got this lovely like mustard yellow color, which is color 460. And I really like this yarn. It's pretty affordable. So I got the mustard and a blue color because those are Ravenclaw colors, and I'm a Ravenclaw for those Harry Potter fans. And I was going to work on something in brioche with these 2 colors. I thought that would be perfect. However, the lovely ladies from the Open Knitting that's hosted by Frivolous and Frugal podcast are all doing a Celtic quilt for Mystery Knit Along, where they're making a quilt. They're basically they're knitting a blanket, and there's different squares each month that'll come out. And so I was saying how I was explaining how I shouldn't start any new projects. And everybody's like, oh, but you can do it, James. Like, you'll be able to get it done. Excuse me. And it's so long that, if you fall a month behind, that's fine. Like, just do it when you want. Then we were talking a little bit later, and one of the other ladies had asked me, so what colors are you going to use? I'm like, these two. So I went from I'm not going to do it to these two. So if I just need to do something new, maybe I won't get all the repeats done for that, but I'll start the Celtic knit along because I saw the first square. Holy cables, but it looks beautiful. And I've done cables before in knitting, so I'm not too worried about that, but I need to find my cable needles wherever they're at. But I'm excited because it'll be in these two colors. I'll probably buy the yarn as I go, or maybe not, or maybe I will, or maybe not. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I'm excited to do that. And I picked up a few other things at Silver Thimble. Sorry for the crinkling. So there was some things on sale. I picked up this Creme de la Creme, 100% cotton, and it is colorway Forest. And so I got Tanis Gray's Harry Potter knitting book. And so my goddaughter loves Slytherin. She's a Slytherin. A lot of my friends are Slytherin. Hey, no judgment, but judging a little. But now, no judgment. And there was a bunch of different washcloth designs, and one was for the snake, Nagini, from Harry Potter. And so I thought green colorway, snake, make her a washcloth. I thought that would be fun for when I need a palette cleanser, a small project to do in between all of the big projects where I just get something finished in a sitting or maybe 2 sittings. So yeah, I bought some washcloth yarn, and then I bought some more Dream Baby yarn because I was going to make some more booties whenever those get done. So another colorway. And I'm trying to pick colorways that are pretty gender neutral. So this has like pinks and greens and whites and reds and yellows. So just a more neutral color for that. And then there was these two, and these were on sale. So how could I say no? Oh my gosh. Marble Chunky, and they're huge, 200 grams, machine washable. I think they're 100% acrylic. Let me check. Yep, 100% acrylic, but very soft acrylic. And the color is just amazing. James C. Brett. Look at that color. So I got 2 of these. So 400 grams, 600 yards. I don't know what I'm going to make with it, but it'll be beautiful, whatever it is. So I'm excited. Very, very excited for those. Then I went to Joann's for a little bit, and they had some sales going on. So I got 2 of these Big Twist Serene, which I've never used before. It's this really soft, very soft yarn. And so Big Twist Serene. I don't know if you can see the halo. Oh, there, you can kind of see the halo at the top there. I don't know why it doesn't focus closer, especially when you can't even see my face. But there is definitely a halo to this. It's super soft. My friend Miriam asked me to make her some gloves, and so it's getting cold, and so another palette cleanser project. And these are super bulky, so the gloves will go by really fast. And there won't be gloves. They'll be mittens. Let's be honest. They'll be mittens. But I think she'll love them. 62% polyester, 38% polyamide, which I thought was interesting. Made in Turkey. Color is called Mood Indigo. So that is fun. Very, very fun. I've got a couple other things to show you all here. And so I say show, but I'm not actually going to. And so what could this be? Have you all been following me on Instagram? If you do, you know that I posted a teaser. And so this is from Trilogy Yarns. It's their Practical Magic October Advent kit. And so this came in, it's not even October, and I was super excited because this came in on a day of work that was pretty bad. Like, it was very, very stressful. And so I was so excited to see this. And I just lied on Instagram. If you want to follow me, my Instagram handle is dudeknits89. I was born in 89. And so I like had opened it and I took a look at the main 100-gram skein of yarn, and there was a project bag in there. And then I posted something like, oh, it's going to be so hard to resist temptation to open them all. Well, who am I kidding? I'm not going to wait. I was never the waiter. I was never going to do that. I've already opened all of them. I'm not going to show you all because I know people haven't gotten theirs and I don't want to ruin it for everybody. I'll probably wait till my middle of October, and then when I do it, I'll give a spoiler, like, look away if you are doing the Advent and don't want to see these colors. I'll tell you when it's good to come back, or I'll post on the bottom of the screen the time you should skip ahead to. But I'm not going to show them now, but oh my gosh, you guys. They're beautiful. Nancy outdid her job at Trilogy Yarns, and there's several cool little gifts in here. It's the first Advent I've ever gotten, and I'm hooked. I love it. I also love Practical Magic, so I knew I was probably going to love it. The names were so creative and fun. The actual yarn looks beautiful. I started talking to the folks at the Zoom Knit Nights about what pattern should I do, looking for an Advent pattern, because I kind of want to use them all in one thing. I'm kind of reminded of what Ray did from Needles at the Ready. He, I think, used an Advent kit. I think it was the Hocus Pocus. I think it was last year's Halloween one to do the Honeycomb Shawl by Stephen West, I think is the one he did. Don't quote me. Go check out their podcast. They're amazing too. I don't watch TV. I just watch podcasts, if I'm real honest. I literally don't have a TV subscription. So I'm like, why waste money? I'm never going to watch it. So I'm looking for something. I need to check the yardage. Maybe I'll do that because that would be a ton of fun. So yeah, that's something great that came in. And then one of the lovely people that I met at the Zoom Knit Nights on Tuesday, her name is Lynn, and she is behind Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. Loving every stitch. And so look at this cute little card she wrote me, just thanking, getting to know me and everything. And she has some lovely yarn bouquets. I'm like, perfect. If you have somebody that loves yarn, yarn doesn't go bad. No offense to flowers and flower companies, but unless those are fake, they're not going to last forever. But yarn could last a really long time. Okay, again, you see I'm a little bit obsessed with yarn, so I love it. She sent me a wonderful card because they had different bouquets for sale, and so I purchased one because she was talking about how a portion of those proceeds go towards an organization that works with individuals with disabilities. If you know me, for the past 2 years, that was a part of my position, was working with accommodations under the ADA, Act 504, to provide those for students with disabilities. And so it's not a part of my position anymore, although I still advocate. I still work with educating folks about neurodiversity because I'm passionate about that area and I like to advocate for things. And so it was just cool learning the story behind that, getting to learn more about Lynn. And I'm super excited because she is currently playing with some yarn. I can't wait. I can't wait. Because some of it's mohair, and I've never used mohair. But of course, Dawn's talking about it, and Lynn's practicing dyeing with some of it. And I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. I can't wait. And so the bouquet I got is beautiful. Very beautiful. I love the mix of colors. It's their mini DK sock set. And so it is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and 100% beautiful. Look at all those colors. And I feel bad because the camera's not really picking them up. The blue and the purple, they're picking up pretty good. The green is like a neon green with some red, like rusty red in it. Ugh. It is just, they're all beautiful. They're all beautiful. Turn it. Work it. Go down that catwalk yarn. You can do it. Sorry, I'm getting carried away. I love it. It's beautiful. Oh, so excited. So I've been wanting to try DK socks. I know the Crazy Sock Lady came out with a free pattern, and I am excited to try that out. So that's probably what these will be. And then she also included, which she didn't have to do, but I love, and I think it's such a cool idea. She has this little box. And I love the name Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. For those of you that don't know, my own mom is a chicken lady, and I say that because she's obsessed with her chickens. We grew up on a hobby farm, and she just loves birds, but she loves chickens. In fact, I should have pulled it out. There's a picture of her trying to put a sweater on a chicken. I'm like, Mom, why the chicken doesn't need a sweater? But she was convinced it needs a sweater. And she has leggings that are in the shape of chicken legs and Crocs that look like chicken feet. And so she will wear those. She has shirts that say, I never dreamed I'd grow up to be a crazy, sexy chicken lady, but here I am. And she got one for my dad that says, I never dreamed I'd grow up to marry a crazy, sexy chicken lady, but here I am. And so the whole chicken lady thing is great, and it really fits with my family really well, which I should tell Lynn because I didn't do that. But you open it up, and she has some samplers, and these are the hazy purple samplers that just show her different bases. So like it tells you info about all the different bases, and then you open it up, and it's just like, but better than a chocolate sampler because she gives you all the different. Yeah, oh, that's a good picture. All the different yarn base, and you get to feel this is not a picture. These are actually her yarn bases, and it's wonderful. And I love that I get to feel it and figure out which ones I would like to knit with. And I haven't even made any decisions yet. Ooh, but this is beautiful. I mean, they're all beautiful. Some of them just feel really, oh. Okay, well, definitely be ordering more from her. So it was so nice and sweet. She did not have to do that, but it does make ordering yarn really convenient and easy. So yeah, I think this is a phenomenal idea to do that. So that is most of my knitting adventures. I don't think I've probably forgotten things in the time from here to then, but it's been so nice to join and meet everybody. I also went to a Zoom knit night that one of the ladies, or a couple of the ladies that go to the Frivolous and Frugal, also have different weekly ones. And so Kimber showed this to me, and she works at Around the Table Yarns, and they also do different Zoom knit nights. And so I went to hers on Wednesday, I think it was. It might have been Thursday. I can't remember. But that was a ton of fun. A lot of people that were at the other one were at this one, and I apologize about not saying everybody's names. I didn't write down everybody's names to share on the podcast. I just really enjoyed meeting all of you, and I'll definitely be back. It was a lot of fun to go to all of those things, and I needed it. And this week has been, like I said, ups and downs, and so a lot of the ups where the yarn helped me cope. I got to learn more of the knitting community. It's been amazing. Some of the downs were, I really believe we all continue to learn as we go through, and we have different moments that help us learn. My work has been very busy, and I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself. I don't think that my coworkers have been intentionally trying to put any pressure on, but it got to one point where I was just had a really bad day. It was not a good day. It was a bad day. And then I got done and I went and I worked out at the gym. And while I was working out, I kind of reflected on my day and I thought about my actions at work. And I wasn't too impressed with myself. And so having that reflection time is important to me. And one of the things I used to tell my student staff when I had student workers that would work for me and they were working with tough situations is, focus on your own sphere of control. Like, what can you really control? At the end of the day, you can never really control how other people are going to act. You can only control how you yourself are going to act and how to take care of yourself. If you're communicating when you need assistance, if you're communicating when you're feeling stressed, or if there's different ideas that you need to put out there. And so I took kind of a hard look at my own actions and found myself a little bit wanting um, which is not always a comfortable or easy thing to do. Although the saying is, your greatest growth comes when you're uncomfortable. And so I've been having some of those moments and needing to realize that I need to speak up and not just assume that I need to handle everything by myself or do everything by myself, which is a common theme in the helping professions. And it's something I've thought of before. It just came from a different angle this time than I was necessarily used to. And so I've been working with that. And the yarn has definitely helped, the taking the time for myself, prioritizing my own kind of self care. Um, yeah, and so that's some of the things I've been thinking about and working on. And as I'm going through these patterns or going through my day, I'm trying to remember to stop and not just think about the product that I want to get. Like we talked about the blankets, not just thinking about the blanket that I want at the end of the day so I can curl up on my couch, but thinking about, when I'm working on the opus shawl and I'm working on those continuous repeats, that I'm having fun, that I'm enjoying myself. Like that's the whole purpose of this, not putting all this pressure, either at work or in my hobbies, on myself. Like I'm really doing this for fun and trying to be mindful, practicing mindful practices for my own self, and finding new ways to enjoy what I've been doing. Um, I was at a local coffee shop Saturday morning, which has become my routine, is to go in there in the morning and knit for a couple hours, which I really love to do. And this time I brought some wireless headphones so I could listen to the Frivolous and Frugal podcast while I was at the coffee shop, which I did. I think it was episode 19 that I watched there. But then after that, I'm like, I don't really want to watch anything. Maybe I'll listen to some music. And I started listening to one of my Spotify stations, um, and I was knitting, and that was one of the first times that I have listened to music while knitting. Traditionally, what I'll do is I'll either turn on the TV or turn on a podcast. I don't really play music, but it was very fun to play music and to have the beat going as I'm knitting, and like kind of like I like to bop to the beat a little bit, and then I'm like knitting and like kind of getting in a rhythm and going faster than I normally do. And it was just a lot of fun to do that and to be completely in the moment with my knitting. Um, and I'm trying to remind myself that it's okay to do that. It's okay not to have deadlines. It's okay to take a step back, um, and to just be in the moment. Um, so if that's a reminder for anybody else, feel free to say that your dude, James, gave you permission to do that because you're important, and what you need matters. At the end of the day, you'll be the one that probably knows that best. And this got a little more lectury than I wanted it to. I apologize about that. That's just kind of where my headspace has been the last week or so. And so I just want to end this episode by thanking everybody for coming and watching, thanking all the lovely people I've met, especially Frivolous and Frugal's podcast. Dawn, thank you so much. You've meant a lot to me, and I'm so excited that I get to continue to meet people and know y'all and be part of that community that you all have formed. And so it means a lot to me. Um, Today I'm probably going to do some laundry. Yeah, just kind of hang out, enjoy my knitting, see how far I get. Maybe I'll sew some buttons on this, which will just be funny. But I'll finish all that up and it'll be a good day. It really will. So thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. Like I said, my handle is dudeknits89. Same handle on Ravelry. Feel free to reach out. If you have any comments of things that I can improve or different things, feel free to share those down below. If you've had kind of a mindful experience with knitting and have any tips or tricks, I'd love to read those, or different things like I did where I said I would listen to music and kind of go to the beat with it. I'd love to hear other people's reactions or what they've done as they've tried to be, more mindful in their knitting. I think that is, we all have learned a lot, and I'm happy to learn from all of you. So thank you so much. I hope you all have a great week. I hope you get some time to enjoy it. And until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.